What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. Today we're going to continue with our straight wall hunting cartridge series. That's right, I did say series. We have a whole bunch of videos we are doing and are going to do regarding straight wall hunting cartridges. There are certain states out there that restrict the use of rifle for deer or other animal hunting. So for instance, Ohio, where I live, we're allowed to use shotguns, we're allowed to use muzzle loaders and pistols, but we're not allowed to use bottleneck rifle cartridges. We used to really not be able to use any rifle cartridges, but now we're allowed to use the straight walls. We've taken a look at 444 Marlin so far. We just took a look at 4570. Both of those are total butt whoopers. But another big favorite is the 450 Bushmaster. So just like the previous two videos that we've done, we have the exact same setup. We have a CVA Scout V2, and that's the takedown version. We have a 3-12 SIG Buckmaster scope with Buckmaster rings, and everything else about today's video is going to be the same protocol, same stuff we're going to go through. We're just switching up the ammunition. Now we're going for the 450 Bushmaster. Today's random factory option that we've chosen is a Federal Non Typical Whitetail hollow point, 300 grain. That's an exposed lead hollow point, and that has an advertised muzzle velocity of 1900 feet per second. That should bring together some good foot-pounds of energy for us. And I think it's pretty much universally agreed that 450 Bushmaster is no slouch in general. This is one I've definitely been looking forward to messing around with because I want to compare this to the slug guns in 12 gauge and 400 Legend, because when 400 Legend came out, which we also will be testing and we have a whole bunch of testing on already, they definitely talked about how the 400 Legend compares to 450 Bushmaster specifically and 12 gauge slugs out of shotgun. But that's all for later. Make sure you're subscribed if you want to see that kind of stuff. Today we're going to go through what we did with the previous two rifle tests. We're going to check accuracy, grouping, we're going to get a zero in on this rifle, and we're just going to get a feel for it, see what the recoil's like, and just see what we think about it in general as a combo right here. There's the reticle that we're dealing with right there. The Buckmaster scopes seem to be a pretty good option as far as budget, but quality. They fit really nicely here on these CVAs with the low mount. I think it's the 0.85 inch. They're a pretty good quality scope, and as a bonus, they actually come with end covers, which is a big deal for me. I like it when a company actually includes end covers. That's a big deal, not to have to go seek out another $20 worth of parts just to keep your scope nice and clean. And no, I'm not shilling for anybody, including SIG. I just like their stuff. So let's get going with some testing. We're going to put 3 rounds through this chronograph. We're going to double check the velocity on the box and check out our foot-pounds. I have an initial rough zero on all these rifles at 20 yards on steel, but we're going to take them out to 100 yards right now. I don't know where we'll end up at first, but we'll make a group and then we'll make our scope adjustments based off of that to get back down to the center if we're not already there. All right, I'm going to take my time and try to get 3 well-placed shots, see what kind of group we get and what kind of point of impact we get. I'm going to go ahead and zoom all the way. And I see I'm a little bit high and left, as you see as well. But let me go ahead and load up another one. Our velocity is 1883, so almost at that 1900 feet per second. All right, let's try that again. And remember, we're not going for bullseye, we're going for group. So I will be aiming at the exact same spot. And I'm not sure where that one went, but I don't see it. You guys can probably see it. I can go ahead and talk about the trigger now. It's just like the other two that we have, the 444 Marlin and the 4570 that we already showed you guys. The trigger is just the same. There's really nothing there. It's pretty solid. You start to push into it and it just breaks. I'm going to go ahead and get a trigger gauge on these eventually, but for right now, just know that they break. They don't have any kind of creep, sponge, wall to climb over, anything like that. They just go with minimal pressure. It's pretty good for a hunting trigger for sure. As far as recoil on the 450 Bushmaster, not too bad. I would say I could lump it right there in the middle of the other two, the 444 Marlin and the 4570 out of this specific rifle. The compensator, I'm sure, helps it a little bit. It has a pretty nice butt pad, but the recoil is there. It's nothing terrible. It's nothing an experienced shooter can't handle, but it's probably not a beginner gun. I've said it before. I'm thinking we're going to find that probably in the 350 Legend area. We got 1 foot per second faster than the box at 1901. So you guys saw it before I did, but now that I've seen the target and I realize why I couldn't find my impact is because I wasn't looking for it all the way to be at the other target up top. That was like the 4570 zeroing when it went up there. However, that's a really far group spread so far, so I don't know what's going on with that. I hope that's not a norm for this cartridge. I'm pretty sure my crosshairs were where they were supposed to be. We have witness marks all over the scope, so nothing changed on this scope from shot to shot. and I was pretty stable. So let me load up another one, and maybe we'll throw that one out. Maybe we won't. Let's see where this one lands. And that one also went up pretty high, so I'm not really sure. I think I'm going to go ahead and throw another one out there. But in the meantime, 1393 on the chronograph, so I think I have to throw out that. I can't believe that that's real. I mean, I guess it could be. This ammo might be really just kind of wacky and not very consistent. So we're going to go ahead and take a fourth shot because we don't want to leave it rest with that. So it could just be a matter of the sun messing with our chronograph. It likes to do that at this time of day. And I'll go ahead and point out with these firearms, they don't have an ejector, like let's say the handy rifle or the shotgun or the H&R single shot shotguns, they have an extractor but not an ejector. So you have to hand pull out the old cartridge, which is not a big deal, and go ahead and set your new one in there. Let me get set up for hopefully a good shot here. And our velocity says 1077, so I'm thinking that's garbage to do with the sunlight. Sometimes things don't always work out perfectly. That's what no BS content is all about, no BS testing. We show you whatever it is, however it is. Just like the mower going off in the background and the chronograph not behaving. Our group here is really messed up. You saw that the order that they came out, we basically have two that want to hang out in a group down here, I think, and two that want to hang out in a group up here. Now, what would create that spread? I don't know, but I definitely feel that my crosshair was here every single time. It never left, even as I breathe, it never leaves this black with the wobble zone. That's what I was talking about. But for the most part, the crosshairs are centered right in here. I can see that with that zoom. It's only 100 yards, and we definitely have two different groups or one big group, whatever you want to call it. Not all guns get along with not all ammos, and that might be what we're looking at here. We have a total group size of 4.666. That's kind of a bad number, but I do not like that. That's not good for shooting at deer, in my opinion. Maybe up close, we'll tighten that up, of course, but at 100 yards, we're already starting to wobble pretty bad here. I'd hate to push this thing out any farther. So without going through that whole box of ammo to just get some averages, I'm going to go ahead and call it and say that that gun does not get along with that ammo. Just because of that, I'm still going to use this group here to draw some conclusions of where we should change our adjustment. I'm going to go ahead and try to make a zeroed shot or a point of aim, point of impact shot after some adjustments. We'll see how it goes. I'm not going to waste a bunch of ammo, but I'll do some clicks real quick and take another shot. All right, we've made what we think are the proper adjustments on the scope. We have reset the chronograph. We have a fresh new round. Now, we do have to take into consideration a little bit, I thought at first, was cold bore shot. However, we saw that, again, the order of that grouping, that's not consistent with a cold bore shot. And cold bore shots, in my opinion, are more for the center fire rifles. They don't seem to affect these straight wall, big, heavy cartridges as much. That's just my opinion. But even if we do find one that has a lot of cold bore shift, it's not good for deer hunting because most of the time you're probably going to have a cold bore. And we went way low and to the right. And our chronograph is still majorly screwing up unless the ammo is majorly screwed up, and I don't see that being the case. It says 1092, and that just can't be possible, I don't think. Well, we ended up 3.14 inches off of where we wanted to be, but that's pretty consistent with the grouping up here. If we have that big of a spread there, then you can just imagine the radius that I can work with here as far as where that bullet might land. I'm not going to waste a whole bunch more ammo with this. I'm going to go ahead and take that as a zeroed shot for 100 yards at the moment because I know that our math was correct. And then we're going to go ahead and smack that steel at 20 yards to see if anything changed. All right, I'm kind of expecting this to go ahead and hit point of aim, point of impact. If it's at least left to right windage-wise, if at least it's center line there, I'll feel a lot better. It might be controllable up here at 20 yards and just not at 100, but we're going to find out right now. I'm going to turn that zoom back to 6. And yep, impacted right where I thought it would. So up close we are zeroed, just downrange it does not like to stay on path. It might be a hair over to the right, so it can maybe stand a little bit of adjustment. That may be true downrange to as far as the windage. I do like the fact that we are zeroed now at 20 yards and pretty much at 100 yards. you would get minute of deer. It's just not a perfect shot. Like I said, to go past 100 yards, I'd be a little bit worried. Now remember, everything we did today is this gun with this optic, with this ammo, with this shooter. So a little bit of disappointing results, but at least we got the feel for the rifle and just made sure everything did function. I'm going to definitely try out more ammos for sure. There's a whole bunch of 450 Bushmaster out there. Kind of limited on some of these other straight wall cartridges, but they do like to make the 450 Bushmaster. So we'll find something that this rifle likes. If we can't find something this rifle likes, then it's probably the rifle. I don't really think that'll be the case, but it's possible. Right now, again, I'm looking at it. The witness marks here on the scope have not changed at all, and I'm not that bad of a shooter, I can promise you that. Anybody that watches the channel knows that we can usually hit our target. We've got a whole bunch planned for these straight wall cartridges. We're going to do comparisons. We're going to hit gel up close and far away. Like I said, a whole bunch of different types of factory ammo, and I'm going to be reloading for all of this stuff. So we got plenty of options. We're going to get you guys ready for straight wall hunting season wherever you are and whatever you're hunting. If you're new to the channel, definitely check out our playlist. We do a whole bunch of cool stuff, not just with rifles, but shotguns, handguns, whatever. We are going to be spending a lot of time on these straight wall cartridges. I wanted to do this last season, but we couldn't get everything together in time for hunting season. We do have a lot of videos up on 400 Legend, 500 Bushwhacker, a couple other things, but for the most part, don't miss what we're doing here if you're interested in straight wall hunting. Hope you enjoy these type of videos. Hope to see you at the next video. And until then, stay safe, have fun, and keep shooting.